Hello everyone, Frost here. Welcome to a new classic WoW video. This is the second episode from the Vanilla Profession Overview series. Previously we covered the gathering skills, talked about the changing nature of the economy, how to make gold with gathering, and gave a couple of examples. Now, not everything surrounding Vanilla WoW is about making gold, and as we said in our previous episode, picking 2 gathering professions while on a speedrun to level 60 might be a good idea. But not everyone playing Vanilla WoW will be on a rush to max level. Some people like to take their time and explore everything the game has to offer. As soon as you get your epic mount and pre-best in slot gear, gold does not play such an important role anymore, and it will serve as pocket change whenever you need to respec or purchase some consumables. That being said, today we're going to take a look into the armor and weapon crafting professions. Don't get me wrong, this does not mean you cannot make gold with this, on the contrary. Given the right circumstances, you can make even more. The point is that armor crafting professions offer advantages that gold cannot buy, such as making bind on pickup gear for leveling and endgame, crafting gear for your guildies and friends, providing resistance gear for the whole iteration of vanilla, making rare and unique weapons such as Sulfuron Hammer and Nightfall, and ultimately making a name for yourself on the server. Just like every other thing in vanilla, this will be a marathon, not a sprint race, so be wise in choosing your professions and patient in collecting your recipe arsenal. Without further ado, let's explore. Tailoring. Welcome to the world of threads and fine materials such as linen, wool, and a variety of silks ready to be imbued with magic. Tailors take simple cloth and wave wonders out of it. Cloth armor and robes, shirts, bags, and other creations are the purview of the tailor. The benefits are diverse. Lightly armored classes can wear mystic robes, all types of heroes can benefit from a variety of bags, and everyone can appreciate the decorative shirts and outfits springing from the tailor's loom. Tailoring doesn't rely on a gathering profession. Cloth is found in chests and on defeated mobs, as well as purchased. As such, tailoring is paired with a variety of professions, though enchanting is the most common, but don't be fooled by this, as you can get enchanting on a bank alt and pick a second profession of your choice. Tailoring is quite unique in vanilla compared to other crafting professions, and offer decent in-game advantages to cloth users. Even from an early level, tailoring provides items such as spider silk boots, robe of power, azure shoulders, and other shadow and healing items that can help you on your leveling journey and provide a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. Being able to upgrade your inventory with silk and mage wave bags, also making a couple of extra silver to learn your spells. Around level 40, the Dreamwave items will become available, a set made from 3 pieces providing 33 spirit, 23 intellect, and 57 spell power. The materials are quite easy to acquire, and if by any chance you're a herbalist, you could even make and sell for profit, or make some of your friends happy. One of the reasons tailoring is such an important profession for cloth users are the bind on pickup robes. We already discussed about the robe of power, and while this is something easy skippable, the robe of the Archmage, True Fate vestments, and the robe of the Void are debatable. The robe of the Archmage is best in slot for mages up to AQ 40, some might disagree with this, but based on my experience, the on-use mana restore embedded into the robe can be very useful in longer fights and during progression. Same goes for the True Fate vestments, which provides an insane amount of healing power on top of the MP5 and cooldown reduce for the Fade ability. This jewel will last you deep into the AQ 40. The robe of the Void is somehow debatable, as you can find replacements faster. But to be frankly honest, how can you skip such an iconic robe? Some people will choose to level quickly tailoring to 300, get the bind on pickup robe, and then ditch tailoring for a different profession, but only to learn it again when the Zul'Gurub patch hits and the Bloodvine set will be released. The Bloodvine set, made from 3 pieces, shoes, helm, and pants, will provide 56 spell power, 22 intellect, 4% hit, 1% crit, and 9 mana per 5 seconds. Of course, compared to the previous robes, this set will be bind on equip, but tailors will benefit from the 2% critical strike set bonus, which is something you cannot really skip, especially if you're in a competitive PvE guild or you're just a competitive player yourself. To put this into perspective, a mage requires 108 intellect in order to get 2% critical strike. The question is, can you level tailoring twice, or maybe it's just not worth to ditch it in the first place? To answer that question, let's check a couple of ways to make gold with tailoring. Early game, make sure to get your hands on the following recipes. Spider belt, as this will be a sought after gadget used in PvP, and people might pay a nice fee to obtain it. Star belt, even more rare than our previous recipe, this belt is the best in slot for level 39 twink bracket and all the way up to level 60. White bandit mask, a recipe that is not that rare. It could serve as a very good leveling helm for warriors and rogues, but due to the very low cost of crafting, which is basically one bolt of mage wave, you could mass craft it for enchanting materials. To give an example, 50 white bandit masks yielded from this enchanting 125 vision dust, 24 lesser nether essence, and 2 small radiant shards. Keep an eye out on the market to sell your materials, and since enchanting mats do not require an auction house fee, be patient in selling them. Felt cloth pieces will sell pretty well, especially the gloves, as some of them will serve as the pre-raid best in slot for warlocks. Get your hands on these recipes as they are easy to acquire, and same goes for the required materials. The bag market will be pretty okay, especially the first months of the game. As soon as you have the level and the skill, rush to Everlook and purchase the Runecloth bag recipe and start abusing the market. Robe of Winter Night is going to be sought after by cloth damage dealers that failed at picking tailoring, and the robe usually sells for 100 to 150 gold, depending on the current market prices for felcloth and essence of water. I'd recommend farming the materials yourself, as it takes on average less than 3 hours per robe. Mooncloth cooldown is a very nice way to get some passive income. Make sure you use it every cooldown, and if possible farm the felcloths yourself for max profit. It would be wise to keep some mooncloths for bottomless 18 slot bags, as waiting to get Onyxia backpacks or Panther hide sack might take forever. Some clever people, with a lot of time, choose to level alts to level 35 and train tailoring only for the mooncloth cooldown. Some of them pick alchemy as well for the Arcanite bar cooldown, but we'll discuss about this in our future episode when we're covering alchemy. When AQ40 will hit the server, you'll be able to craft a Sylvan set for your guildies and even outside of your guild for a decent fee. The set provides 43 stamina, 80 nature resistance and 37 spell power, and it's required to progress in AQ40 past Viscidus. I guess there's a feeling of pride when someone wears armor pieces with your name on it, such as flare core leggings or resistance gear, and the feeling of importance when people reach to you in order to help them on their journey. Like I said, tailoring is quite unique, but I think we spent too much time on it. Let's move to our next profession. Leatherworking. Leatherworkers take rough, spiny or sturdy hides of beasts everywhere and turn them into useful products. First and foremost among those creations are lighter armors, leather and mail, as well as cloaks, quivers, and unique patches and stitchings that improve the defensive values of armor. The craft of leatherworking is useful for those who want to outfit themselves and others with suitable armors, as well for those who want to profit from selling their rare creations. Leatherworking provides some advantages for leather and mail wearing classes. It is great for leveling up your character, since you can very cheaply make item upgrades and armor kits on your journey. This introduction might make this profession seem like the dream one, but in reality leatherworking is one of the least picked skills, because if you compare it to tailoring for example, it imposes some limitations, as leatherworking will be divided in 3 subcategories: elemental, Dragonscale, and tribal, thus limiting you in terms of the amount of things you can craft and diversity. The elemental leatherworker. This specialization is generally suited for rogues and druids, and it allows you to craft the Storm Shroud armor, which is a 4-piece set with 530 armor, 6% crit, 3% dodge, and 1% hit. I guess this can be suited for a feral druid, but unfortunately there's no demand for this one on the market. Molten Belt and Molten Helm, 2 pieces of fire resistance gear which you can craft for your guildies and outsiders for a small fee. The Living Breastplate suited for a resto druid, but yet again the demand will be limited. And the Shifting Cloak, which is pretty okay for feral druids and rogues, the demand is there, but still small. Overall, Elemental requires expensive and hard to farm components, offers items that are not really in demand, and in general it's a big pain. In my opinion, it's the worst choice. The Dragonscale Leatherworker. Dragonscale, on the other hand, is suited for hunters and shamans, and it can be an okay path if you run a lot of dungeons with dragons, specifically UBRS, given the plentiful amount of skills that drop there. You could get lots of mats for your crafting needs, and the armor they make is mailed, so you can use it. Although it's not the greatest, at least it will sell. It allows you to craft the Black Dragonscale armor, which is a 4-piece set giving in total 1200 armor, 37 stamina, 55 fire resistance and 172 attack power. On top of this, the set bonus is pretty good, which will make this set always on demand. Chromatic gauntlets with 44 AP and 1% crit seem to be pretty okay. Unfortunately, I do not recall being a demand for this. And of course the Dreamscale breastplate, which will be very sought after even by paladins and warriors, since this is best in slot gear for AQ 40 nature resistance. Overall, Dragonscale is an okay specialization if you like doing lots of dungeons. There will be returns in terms of gold, and if your server is crowded with tribal leatherworkers, things will get only smoother. The Tribal Leatherworker. And finally, Tribal Leatherworking, which offers some fairly good, in-demand and relatively easy to make recipes. The mats are not that hard to get, especially if you spend a lot of time in Ungoro and Eastern Plaguelands. The downside to it is that Tribal is so popular amongst leatherworkers, which means more competition on the market. Suddenly making Dragonscale will look more appealing. Nevertheless, some of the recipes are not easy to acquire, and if you're blessed by the RNG gods to obtain them early in game, your fortune will be changed. Tribal allows you to craft the Devil's Sour armor, a 2-piece set offering 251 armor, 21 stamina, 74 attack power, 2% crit, and 2% hit as a set bonus, making it pre-best in slot for most of the physical damage dealers. Grinding for Devil's Sour leather offers freedom compared to Dragonscale, and if you're efficient enough, you'll be able to make fortunes. Hide of the Wild is the best in slot healing cloak up to AQ 40, and if you get the recipe early game, the crafting fees can go up to 50 gold. Corehound Belt is also best in slot up to AQ 40, rare recipe, but same terms as Hide of the Wild will apply. Overall, Tribal seems to be the best choice among leatherworkers, but sometimes even the best choice is not enough. People would generally say leatherworking is one of the worst professions, but in my experience it's not necessarily the case, as people sometimes tend to be lazy or simply unlucky. Making gold from leatherworking is quite diverse and can start at an early level. You can craft the toughened leather gloves, the Deviate scale belt, or the barbaric leather bracers, but these are just the beginnings, as leatherworking has a lot of craftable items with random stats, where some of them, if in the correct slot, can have values above the marketplace. The quiver market can work nice at times, keep an eye out for that. A proper example on how to make gold with leatherworking would be to purchase cheap rugged leather from the auction house, or hire some people to skin it for you, as they will avoid the market tax and sell it for a lesser price. Use that rugged leather to mass craft the Wicked Leather headband and disenchant it for Illusion Dust, Greater Eternal Essence and Large Brilliant Shard, just like we did with the White Bandit mask in our tailoring section. It's up to you to do the math. If you're lucky enough to obtain early game the pattern for Core Armor Kit, forget everything I said above and focus on making armor kits, as this will sell like fresh bread and you will be the one making the price. Expect to get rich from the first week. Make sure you remember to play with your salt shaker and cure your rugged hides every 3 days, as this is gold made out of thin air. When ZG patch hits, you can make the Primal Bat Skin armor, a set made of 3 pieces offering 56 agility, 22 stamina and 4% hit chance. A great set used by rogues and sometimes survival hunters, a simple set that acts as a catch-up mechanism and it will always sell. When AQ 40 will hit the server, you'll be able to craft a Bramblewood set for your guildies and even outside of your guild for a decent fee. The set provides 46 stamina, 70 nature resistance and it's required to progress in AQ 40 past Viscidus. All melee will be required to get the set and a market will open for leatherworkers. If your specialization is Dragonscale, you'll manage to abuse the market even more due to the Dreamscale breastplate. Like I said, there's potential into leatherworking, it just requires a lot of time investment. and the time we dedicated to this skill is way longer than expected. Let's move to our last profession for today. Blacksmithing. Blacksmiths take bars of metal from miners and work them into finely crafted melee weapons, mail armor, plate armor, and some trade items. They also can construct special sharpening stones and weight stones that can be used to temporarily increase the damage on a sharp and a blunt weapon. Several rods can be created for enchanters who need their rods for more potent enhancements. Skeleton keys can be used to open chests when a rogue is not available. Shield spikes damage your opponent whenever you block blows. They also can create several items that are used as ingredients in other professions such as tailoring and leatherworking. Speaking of other crafting skills, blacksmiths do not have a cooldown like curd rugged hide, mooncloth and arcanite bars, but blacksmithing is more diverse in terms of crafting since you can make weapons and other useful trading goods, giving it more potential to make gold on the market. This skill is a good choice for warriors and paladins. They can benefit from the mail and then the plate armor and the wide selection of weapons. Hunters and shamans can also use most of the weapons made, but can only start using mail armor at level 40. At skill 200 and character level 40, blacksmiths can choose to specialize as an armorsmith or a weaponsmith. Weaponsmiths can later further specialize into hammer, axe, or swordsmiths. Once you make one of those choices, you cannot go back, so choose wisely. The general weaponsmithing specific items you can craft are Black Amnesty, Black Fury, Blight, the Dark Iron Pulverizer, Dark Iron Sunderer, Phantom Blade, True Silver Champion, the Shatterer, and Heartseeker. Axesmithing is a further speciality into weaponsmithing, and it's for the craft of axes. To become an axesmith, you must complete a fairly simple quest. You have to go to Kilram in Everlook Winterspring and get the quest Shakestone of the Shadow Huntress. Then you have to go kill Shadow Hunter Vosh in Lower Blackrock Spire. This has to be done in a group, not a raid. Completing the quest rewards you with the plans for Dawn's Edge. Becoming an Axesmith allows you to further create Annihilator, Dark Iron Destroyer, Dawn's Edge, and Nightfall. Swordsmithing. Swordsmithing is a further speciality into weaponsmithing, and it's for the craft of swords. To become a swordsmith, you must go to Cyril Scourgebane in Everlook Winterspring and get the quest Corruption. You must kill the Blackguard swordsmith in Stratholme. This will also get you the plans for Blazing Rapier. Becoming a swordsmith will allow you to further craft Blazing Rapier, Sage Blade, Dark Iron Reaver, and Blackguard. Hammersmithing. Hammersmithing is a further speciality into weaponsmithing, and it's for the craft of maces. To become a hammersmith, you must go to Lilith the Lit in Everlook Winterspring and get the quest Sweet Serenity. You must then kill the Crimson Hammersmith. In doing this, you will also get the plans for the Enchanted Battle Hammer. Becoming a hammersmith will allow you to smith Enchanted Battle Hammer, Hammer of the Titans, and Persuader. Armorsmithing. Armorsmithing is what most counts as the blacksmithing specialty designed for personal use. Although it can make a lot of money off endgame making specific resistance armor. You have to complete a long series of quests that require huge amounts of materials, and it will ultimately be worthwhile. I think weaponsmiths can also complete this quest series, as you don't become an armorsmith until you've actually gave the ingredients to the artisan armorsmith. But please correct me if I'm wrong. This quest series will reward you with a nice trinket, Glimmering Mithril Insignia, which is a nice gadget to have when you're on a PvP encounter, or maybe during the Onyxia encounter because you don't want to get feared into the whelps. That's a 50 DKP minus. The Armorsmith specific items you can craft are the Whole Plate Dark Iron Fire Resistance set, the Fiery Mail Resistance set, Helm of the Great Chief, Invulnerable Mail, Lionheart Helm, Storm Gauntlets, Stronghold Gauntlets, White Soul Helm, Wild Thorn Mail, and the whole Enchanted Thorium Tanking set, but this will require you to get the advanced Armorsmith manuals in order to learn them. Some ways to make gold with blacksmith are early game items such as Pearl Handled Dagger, Green Iron Shoulders, and Barbaric Iron Helm will make you just enough gold to learn your spells and stay on track. Of course, there is a variety of weapons and armors you could make, focus on twink items and slots that are harder to acquire like Head and Shoulders. The enchanting rods will be pretty sought after, try to make as many as you can. Mithril spurs are a nice way to make some gold while spending time in Orgrimmar or Ironforge. Spam the trade chat, don't be shy. Shield spikes will be in demand especially by the try-hard protection paladins. Try to get your hand on thorium shield spikes recipe ASAP and start making some gold. Start working on your thorium brotherhood reputation, as this will provide a variety of recipes for both armorsmiths and weaponsmiths. Recipes for fire resistance gear, nightfall, blackguard, and so on. The sooner you get them, the less competition on the market. Some rare drop recipes such as Lionheart helmet or Titanic leggings, if you get them before other blacksmiths, will make gold rain on you, as you will be able to ask the fee of your desire. When AQ40 will hit the server, you'll be able to craft the iron wine set for your guildies and even outside of your guild for a decent fee. The set provides 37 stamina, 65 nature resistance, 20 defense, and it's required to progress in AQ40 past Viscidus. This is a good time to take advantage of the situation. In my opinion, blacksmithing is a profession with the highest potential out of the three we discussed today. One final tip: always carry some skeleton keys with you, because you can be the hero for an evening when the rogue forgot to level his lockpicking skill, or when your party stumbles across a locked treasure chest. This video came to be way longer than I was expecting, and to end this on a different note, I would like to point out that any crafting profession is a big help, especially if you manage to obtain the rare drops from Molten Core and world bosses. If you have the time and patience to grind for reputation recipes, and the time to fully invest into one, you will be able to see great returns. On the other hand, if you're looking for a more casual approach to the game, gathering or engineering might be a better choice for you. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed and learned something new. If you did, make sure to drop a like and a comment down below. Until next time, stay frosty.